Hello, my friends. I'm Michelle, a life designer coach, nutritional therapist, leader in Run Fitness, health enthusiast, a mum of two, entrepreneur, and the host of this absolutely awesome show, Nutritional Wellness Tips for Menopausal Women. Through this podcast, I intend to bring to you wisdom and experiences from inspirational people, holistic wellbeing partners, and from within my own life journey. Because I truly want to unravel complexities and support you around the globe to elevate your health and well-being. Together, we can open opportunities to live the life you want to lead and feel empowered to fly to great heights to achieve your dreams. So this week, solo episode from me, and we're looking at mindful eating. So we're unraveling what it is, strategies you could implement, and how really coaching can help you gain a greater awareness of your eating habits, reducing responses to triggers, and the management of emotional and self-limiting beliefs. So let's dive straight in. I have a question for you all. Have you ever found yourself mindlessly munching on a bag of crisps or chocolate while watching TV, and before you know it, the snacks are gone and you feel like you've not tasted one bite? Then you have experienced mindless eating. Come on, be honest. How many of you have done this? How many of you done this? So easily done. But what do we actually mean by mindful eating and intuitive eating? And I've got to say that mindful eating and intuitive eating often get confused. Right? Intuitive eating is helping to cultivate a kind of relationship with food and really trusting your body to make the food choices that feel good for you without judging yourself or having influence of the diet culture and feeling guilty. And so the focus is on why you make the food choices. Now, I've had to do intuitive eating because of my upbringing and my trauma, as you know. But if you're new to the show, I had disordered eating, and that stemmed from a traumatic childhood, and particularly of seeing my adults, my safe adults, stuffing their faces with food, and then the following day going, but I'm going to have to go on a diet. Now, I think it's really, really important to remember that we're all born with the ability to know when to eat, when to stop eating, and know what is pleasurable and is satisfying. I mean, I know for a fact that when I've gone out to a restaurant, I've chosen my food choices, I've made the right choices for me, and it's really satisfying, okay, and really pleasurable to eat my choice. But how many of us have really come disconnected with our inner wisdom? I know that in other scenarios that I do, I get so bombarded sometimes with, the influence of family, friends, media, the diet culture being a big, big impact, that when you've got all that external stimuli, for want of a better word, it really, really leaves you disconnected with trusting your own internal wisdom, which is basically your body, and particularly your body speaking to you through your heart and mind. So what mindful eating does is focuses more on the present moment during eating and how we are eating. And I love this beautiful quote. Mindful eating is eating with the intention of paying attention. It's not just bringing awareness to the sensory experience of eating, like the taste, the smells, and the textures of food, but it's also noticing the thoughts and the bodily experiences, like the hunger and the fullness levels. So, what does mindful eating actually involve? Now, there's no set standards of instructions, but I'm sharing with you some general principles based on the research and studies and from my own perspective, and I have 10 things. Okay, only 10. So, nothing too major. First one, give priority to meal times. You should take at least 15 minutes, okay, to sit down and really enjoy your meal. And I get it, right? You're busy, you've got work schedules, you've got to get people to places, you've got to go and do whatever you've got to go and do. But you've got to become very mindful of when and how you can achieve this. And before you all start growing in, it's all about the planning and making yourself a priority and carving out that time. So, number two, avoid distractions whilst you're eating. How often do we eat whilst in front of the TV or in front of the computer? Hands up. How many times have I stood there, or sat there, I should say, and I'm working away on my computer and shoveling in food, right? We've all done it, but let's become more mindful about doing that. Eating in the circumstances I've just described is usually mindless, and it can lead you to overeating or choosing unhealthier options or not enjoying your meal at all. One of my things that I really home in on my family values is always sit down for your meal. Try to avoid eating standing up or in front of the fridge. And yes, I have been stuffing the toast as I'm running out to the car to get in to do the commute to work. But try and make yourself that priority, make your mealtime a priority, and really sit down for that meal and carve out that 15 to 20 minutes of you time to really savor your meal. Number four is always serve your food on a plate or bowl and making it appealing and a joy to undertake. And I think that's really important because we've all been to a restaurant, you've all gone and looked at how they present some of the food, and you've gone, wow, this looks absolutely amazing. So why do you experience that in a restaurant which you're paying for and can't replicate that at home? The 80-20 rule. Love the 80-20 rule. 80% good all the time, 20% have some fun, 80%, of mental stability against 20% of physical like therapy. And when I talk 80-20 is if you are running an event, it is 80% your mental stamina and only 20% physical. So you've all heard of 80-20 rule in some way or form. So eat only until you're 80% full. Okay? Listen to your body's hunger cues and use them to choose when to start eating and when to stop by slowing yourself down, really becoming aware of your body and the time and the space and presence that you are in. You will find that you will know when to start and when you've had enough. Really, really, my tip number 7 is truly savor and taste your food. Use the senses that your body has. Your body is a miracle machine. So before you start eating, rule number 1 is just make sure you have a glass of water so you've cleared your palate, but also know, is that a hunger cue? Take a look at what you're eating, smell it, what colours are there. Look overall for the appeal of the meal you're about to eat. And then during the meal, identify the components of the food. What's the taste? What's the flavour? What's the smell? How does it actually feel in your mouth? Tip number 8, ask yourself, how do you feel about the food you're eating? And particularly if you want to go on this more holistic and well-being journey, start just noting down in your journal or in a diary, what did you eat? What feelings did you eat? What did your body feel? When you eat, did it make you feel happiness and pleasure? Or is there sort of some associated regret, guilt, stress and disappointment? Then question yourself, what thoughts of the food has that brought to your mind? Does it bring up any memories, fears, or beliefs? And before and after the meal, really ask yourself, how do you feel? Are you energized? Are you lethargic? Does your stomach feel full, nauseous, empty? Really start to get a picture of what you're eating and how it impacts your body. Tip number 9, always try to prepare your own meals where possible, because the actual act of preparing the food, the touching, the tasting, the smelling, can improve your relationship with food. And then my final tip on this section is really number 10, Eat to maintain your overall health and well-being, and truly appreciate your food, where it's come from, how it's grown, how it's got to the supermarket, what you have done with it. Really embody and embrace that whole entire journey. So I've given you some tips about what mindful eating is and how we can start thinking about it and incorporating it. But what do the studies say? Because obviously we're scientific based. What does it mean measuring like whether or not mindful eating actually works? Now, those studies have been performed. It really is relying on self-reported outcomes. So it's based on how the participants are rating how they feel. Now, as I've shared with you before, but if you're a new listener to the podcast, every one of us is different. Every one of us responds to food and digests it in a different way. So there is no hard evidence and science against this mindful eating, but there has been some links between mindful eating and some health outcomes. Studies have concluded that people with less awareness of their eating habits are more likely to become overweight, anxious, and experience lower moods. And that goes back to the question I've asked you at the beginning. How many of us have just eaten in front of the TV and not realised a whole bag of crisps and chocolate we've got? So by embarking on a mindful eating program, it can be effective in reducing that binge eating, the emotional eating, and also regulating portion sizes. Mindful eating also has been found to have no effect on weight loss. However, by increasing your recognition of your physical hunger, your fullness cues, and what the food is actually doing to your body, whether or not you're enjoying it, energy, lethargic, that you only eat when your body needs nourishing and you're having nourishing food to serve you to your highest good. So, the overall consensus is mindful eating is about bringing more awareness to what you eat, recognizing whether you're eating for an emotional stress or related cues, and slowing down so you fully appreciate the value of the nutrition that serves your mind, body, and soul. So, I'm a coach, a life coach, a nutritional therapist, as you know. And I then looked at and went, okay, so what else is out there? What tools can we do to help each other? And many studies found that through coaching, we can help individuals to pay attention to what your body really needs. And that goes in a lot broader perspective, where I have helped clients in their training regimes or their day-to-day life by looking at what they're eating and are they eating enough to maintain their energy levels. So we're really paying attention to what your body actually needs. We're going to really focus on whether you're eating due to hunger or just to habit. We can teach individuals to experience the full pleasure and taste of the food without overeating. Learn tools to help support the individuals to make a balanced and sustainable choices, to help you find peace with food relationships and eat the foods you love without actually feeling guilty. And we can really look at developing strategies for planning meals and enjoying them. And before everyone groans about planning, that little bit of effort and consciousness in planning can not only help you lose the pounds if that's one of your goals, it can save you the cost and you're not wasting food. So there's many benefits of just taking that moment to be more mindful about planning what you eat, when you're eating it, and then obviously the further benefits of actually enjoying it. And coaching can help free up your energy. So we're looking at you being present, you're experiencing eating food mindfully. It means that you're more energized, you're serving your body and your inner wisdom, okay, to attend to other aspects of your life and live the big, vibrant life that you all crave. So what's the main conclusion? And yes, it's a bit of a shorter episode for you, but I've got to say, it's going back to the old ways. I've reviewed the evidence, the research, but it's the old way of nourishment. Trust your internal wisdom. Learn to listen to your body. Trust your body. It knows when to eat, when to stop, and it tells you what it wants to eat. So, by slowing down and finding coping strategies for managing external triggers, you will find that you can elevate your health and well being. Mindful eating, I have to stress, is not a method for people with eating disorders and should seek professional help. Mindful and intuitive eating, coupled with coaching, can help improve relationships with food and cultivate healthier eating habits. But the underlying message is learn to slow down, connect with your inner self, and allow your body to serve you. As always, my friends, I hope you found this short episode to be insightful. And in order for me to achieve my goal of growing the podcast, to support as many of you around the world to elevate your health and well-being, please download, like, share a review. Go over to the YouTube channel if you got any questions, and we can have a community and discussion about this. And just know that if you need that little extra further guidance, connect with me. I do a coaching program. I'm also offering a wellness audit, menopausal wellness audit that can be holistic. So rock over to my website, which will be in the show notes. Find me on Instagram and direct message me, and let's connect. So thank you for listening. Enjoy your day, and hopefully we will speak soon.